Ever wonder why Japanese homes feel so peaceful while ours are packed with stuff we never use? What if we told you that letting go of the past isn't about forgetting memories, but actually about honoring them in a completely different way? Today, we're diving into something that might change how you see everything you own. So here's the thing about minimalism in Japan. It's not just some trendy lifestyle choice or a way to make your Instagram look aesthetic. It runs way deeper than that. When we look at how Japanese minimalists approach their belongings, there's this fascinating relationship with the past that's totally different from what most of us are used to. We're talking about a culture that's thousands of years old, yet somehow they've mastered the art of living light. And no, they're not cold or detached from their memories. Actually, it's quite the opposite. They've just figured out something really important that most of us are still struggling with. The way they handle their past, their memories, and their stuff can teach us so much about finding peace in our own lives. And trust us, once you understand this mindset, you'll never look at that box of old clothes in your closet the same way again. The weight of memories versus the memory itself. Let's start with something we can all relate to. Think about your home right now. How much of what you own do you keep because you actually use it, and how much do you keep because it reminds you of something? Maybe it's your grandmother's china that sits in a cabinet untouched for years, or concert tickets from a decade ago stuffed in a drawer somewhere. We do this all the time, right? We hold on to physical objects because we think they're somehow holding our memories hostage. Like if we throw away that shirt from college, we'll forget those amazing years. But here's where Japanese minimalists think differently. They understand something profound. The memory isn't living inside that object. The memory lives inside you. That old concert ticket isn't what makes the experience real. You were there. You felt the music. You lived that moment. The ticket is just paper. This might sound harsh at first, but stay with us because there's real freedom in this idea. When we spoke to people who practice this lifestyle, they often mentioned around 70 to 80% of the things we keep for sentimental reasons never actually get looked at again. We just know they're there, taking up space, collecting dust, and somehow that's supposed to make us feel connected to our past. Japanese culture has this concept where the essence of something matters more than its physical form. It's why they can appreciate cherry blossoms for just 2 weeks a year. The beauty's in the moment, not in trying to preserve the flower forever. They apply this same thinking to belongings. The experience happened, the memory formed. The physical reminder becomes optional. And honestly, when you think about it this way, it makes so much sense. Our brains are incredible storage devices for experiences, but we act like we need backup drives in the form of stuff everywhere. Now, this is where things get really interesting. There's a Buddhist concept that's deeply woven into Japanese culture called impermanence, or mujō, as they call it. Everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. And instead of fighting this reality, Japanese minimalists embrace it. They see it as one of life's most important teachers. We know this sounds a bit philosophical, but hear us out because it connects directly to why they don't cling to the past. In Western culture, we often try to freeze time. We want to preserve everything exactly as it was. We take thousands of photos, keep every card we've ever received, save clothes that don't fit anymore just because they represent a time when we were different. We're essentially fighting against change. But Japanese minimalism says change isn't the enemy, it's actually the whole point. According to studies on consumer behavior, the average American home contains around 300,000 items. Meanwhile, Japanese minimalists often live comfortably with a fraction of that. Some live with fewer than 100 personal possessions total. They're not suffering, they're not missing out. They've just accepted that holding on to physical representations of the past doesn't stop time from moving forward. Think about it this way. When autumn leaves fall, you don't try to glue them back on the tree. You appreciate their beauty as they fall, maybe even more because you know it's temporary. That's how they view belongings connected to the past. The season of needing that item has passed, and that's perfectly okay. Fighting to keep everything from every season of your life is exhausting. Japanese minimalists choose peace instead. Respect through release. Here's something that might surprise you. When Japanese minimalists let go of items from their past, they do it with incredible respect. There's actually a practice where people thank their belongings before parting with them. It's not weird or overly sentimental, it's acknowledgement. They might hold an old gift from someone they loved and genuinely thank it for the role it played. Then they let it go. This is respect through release, not disrespect through disposal. We often think keeping everything shows we care, but Japanese culture teaches something different. Sometimes keeping everything shows we're scared. Scared of forgetting, scared of moving on, scared that we won't honor someone's memory if we don't keep the physical proof. But think about the people you've lost or the relationships that changed. Do you really need their stuff to remember them? The answer is usually no. The love, the lessons, the experiences are all still there, whether you keep their old sweater or not. Marie Kondo, probably the most famous Japanese organizing consultant, asks people if items spark joy. But there's a deeper layer here. She also teaches that thanking items and releasing them with gratitude is honoring both the object and yourself. You're saying, you served your purpose beautifully, and now we both move forward. That's not cold. That's actually deeply compassionate. You're not trapping memories in boxes. You're setting them free to live in their proper place, which is in your heart and mind, not your garage. Space for the present. Let's talk about what happens when you stop clinging to the past. You create space. Not just physical space, although that's definitely part of it. You create mental and emotional space too. Japanese minimalists understand that every item from the past that you keep is using up room that could be for your present life. Research in environmental psychology shows that cluttered spaces actually increase cortisol levels and make people feel more stressed and overwhelmed. When your home is full of yesterday, there's less room for today. We've become really good at living in the past through our stuff while simultaneously worrying about the future. But the present moment, that gets squeezed out. Japanese minimalist spaces tend to be incredibly calm. When you walk into them, you can breathe. There's not stuff everywhere screaming for your attention, reminding you of who you used to be, or guilt-tripping you about things you're keeping out of obligation. Instead, there's space to actually be present. Think about how much mental energy goes into maintaining relationships with objects. You see that box of old textbooks and think, I should really go through those. You pass by those clothes that don't fit and feel a pang of something, maybe regret or nostalgia. All of this is happening constantly in the background of your mind. Japanese minimalists have decided that energy is better spent on living their current life, not living in a museum of their past life. And when you really sit with this idea, it's kind of revolutionary. What would your life feel like if your space only contained things that serve your life right now? So, what can we learn from Japanese minimalists about not clinging to the past? It's not about being cold or forgetting where we came from. It's about understanding that memories don't need physical anchors to exist. It's about embracing impermanence instead of fighting it. It's about respecting our belongings enough to release them when their time has passed. And it's about creating space in our lives for what actually matters right now. We don't need to become extreme minimalists overnight, but we can start questioning our relationship with the past and whether holding on to everything really serves us. Maybe that box in your closet isn't preserving memories. Maybe it's just taking up space that could be used for your life today. Japanese minimalists have figured out that letting go isn't losing the past. It's making room for the present. And honestly, that might be the most valuable thing we can learn from them.